Okay, let me go ahead and delete that off of Orange County. I am trying to figure some stuff. Right now. Facebook. Also, I can't. Oh, style phones. All right, there we go. Now we're live on Facebook. Jeez. Heck. Which. All right, yes, we're live across all platforms, finally. Some stuff we're going to talk. Not going smooth. Oh.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm in. I'm waiting for Steve.
Yeah, I don't know why Steve's not in here though.
You tell him to join. Does he know how to use it?
I clicked it right when you said it.
All right,
Good stuff.
I'm born by the Liverpool guy.
Top of the league. Top of the league.
Yeah, I'm a bit more pessimistic, realistic. I don't know.
No, I'm the same way.
Nice for now. It's nice for now.
my official chat, if I was a neutral, I'd see us losing to City for the title by like 5 points because 26 points or whatever is just too much. But I'm not a neutral. And now you're going to believe us.
Listen, inside I'm feeling the same way. But my head's telling me kind of, don't get ahead of yourself kind of thing.
I mean, Danny, Kyle, my son, met them this year. He walked out with them this year. It has to be this year.
Let's hope so.
Not going to happen.
I mean, it'll be closest we've been since 2013.
Yeah, and our team's stronger. But the other teams are stronger. That's the thing, too. There's, Chelsea looks good to me.
I mean, we've come through our two biggest tests, in my opinion, so far in Tottenham and PSG. Come through in flying colours. Thought we played really well in both.
Mm-hmm. Tottenham away,
especially Tottenham away. Yeah, they're still a good team though.
I'm talking about
it's not like
League against Inter.
Well, they were 1-0 up until like the 85th minute or something.
Yeah.
And then they blew it. Within 5 minutes, it was just 2-1 down. It's like a proper pro club game right there, man.
What was the final score? I missed that.
They lost 2-1, Spurs. So they're 1-0 up. I think Eriksen put them in front. And then Icardi come with some like 30-yard volley to win the game, I think. Oh, no, was it the equaliser? One or the
other. Waldo, this is strictly whatever you guys want to talk about. I guess we'll start off with the Starbucks Cup. That is going to be wild. 12 hours of streaming every week didn't sound as grueling as it is.
Yeah, that sounds pretty brutal, man.
Man, those streamers, it's like their whole life, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, no doubt. I don't know if for Danny is that kind of your first time doing it.
I don't know if that long. So like, I get that they stream like 6 hours a day, but the editing of that streaming is crazy that they do that on top of that.
Yeah, I could imagine. But if you're making a living out of it, I suppose it just becomes kind of second nature.
Yeah, these people who have like 500 to 700 people always watching their stream. I mean, what I was surprised by, because there was some Facebook chat I guess I stumbled into, and it was all, those type of people. And it's just the occasional girl just sitting there in like a bra or something, or a swimsuit top. Like, yep, this is totally what I'm using to get. I'm like, come on.
Danny, you should do the same. I think you'd bring the viewers in, man. Sit there in a bra.
All right, so anyway, Leicester won the cup.
Whoop whoop.
Ollie, were you playing for them or were you playing for someone else?
No, I was with them, but I only got to play 1 or 2 games.
He didn't play against us because you don't play against like your loner team,
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But yeah, the couple of games that I did play, we played really well. I think we won 5-0 the first game. I'm not sure if that was a semi-final, quarter-final, one of them.
Gotcha.
But yeah, played well.
Yeah, that last game was pretty good. Atlantic City. So, like, it's unfortunate that they lost, type of thing. But at the same time, wasn't it 3 PKs? That's a lot of unfortunate PKs.
I didn't actually get to watch it, but I watched some of the highlights, actually, tell a lie. And then I talked to a few of the Leicester guys, and yeah, they said it was 3 PKs. I mean, I saw the clip that you put up on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, that was funny.
I was like, oh no, and all stuff like this. I was like, oh my god, well, what a penalty, eh? I mean, we're in for a treat in 19 if it stays the same. You know?
19, dude, I've been seeing some of the sickest goals off volleys and bikes.
I know.
It's unreal. I think I'm going to become a striker or something. I can't play defense anymore. Had enough.
What's this about R1? I hear somebody said, I think Omar said, I guess you just need to hold R1 all the time now or something.
I mean,
I don't know if you've seen that.
I'm a little jealous of all these guys in the big cities. They already have their copies.
No, I mean, a few guys do. A few of my friends do. But that's only because they got it through a friend that works somewhere or, you know. The official one comes out kind of this time tomorrow night, I think. Yeah. And then we get it 5 hours before anyone on the East Coast. So that's...
I'm pissed, dude. I'm pissed because the normal price, the normal game comes out Tuesday or, midnight. Everybody knows that. But this year, if you don't pay
$20 extra,
then you get penalized. I hate that. So I'm not getting it till Friday because...
What do you mean by penalized?
So, they call it early access, but it's not really early access. It's the normal access. But the people who don't pay the extra 20 can't play it till Friday. Does that make sense? So it's still early in relation, but it's like, come on. And then they try to sugarcoat it with all the Ultimate Team stuff. It pisses me off. These guys,
it's worth the $20.
I know. That's the bottom line.
So you're not getting it till Friday, Steve?
Well, the other thing is I went and bought it digitally. So I'm a loyal customer. I go and I pay, but it wasn't easy. I actually researched because I had, buyer's remorse because I wanted to pay the $20 after I took a team vote and everybody was like, just pay the $20, like 90%. So I'm like, well, crap, I'll go pay the $20. But then I couldn't figure out how do I cancel this purchase and then buy it the right way?
Oh, no.
So you already bought it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it wasn't worth it. And then it was like, if I did it, I could have actually saved the 10% that Barry pointed out. It's like staring us right in front of her face. Yeah. Right there in FIFA. Barry already bought it. He goes, are you kidding me?
Well,
this is staring me in front of my face.
Well, what you can do is, if you really wanted to, give someone the $20 and just game share with them for 3 days. Just as a nice gesture. That's what you can do if you wanted to.
I've never a whole 3-hour phone call with PlayStation Pro.
Yeah, and that's worth a lot more than $20 right there.
Yeah, right. Seriously.
Yeah,
between Verizon and Sony, I don't think I could work next week. So I'm thinking about focusing on my family, and I know they're not close to this podcast. So I'm gonna be like, guys, I just really feel like I want to give back. Let's go camping. Let's just get away.
Yeah, right.
This is for you. You've been playing too much lately.
While you're screwing, watching everybody, watching in the streams.
I don't want to see my phone, honey. I don't want. It's all about you guys right now. Oh, okay.
Changed man, Steve.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Best $20 I didn't spend ever.
Until Friday hits.
Yeah, then I'm gone.
Yeah. The week is gone. Not going to work. Not showering for a week. Nothing.
No, I'll catch up quick. Because I work for myself. I'll be able to schedule legitimately 2 of those business days. In that first 5 days, I will literally play FIFA all day and just like answer emails and call. So that's what I'll do.
Easy money.
As long as I play 7.14 games every day for 2 weeks, that's 100 games in 2 weeks. That's my plan.
Jesus. Yeah, she worked out.
A little bit.
Yeah, Jesus. I haven't thought that far yet.
I'll get 18 to 20 games on those full days. So then the other days, I don't even have to do 7. So I'll catch up quick.
Yeah, no doubt. So, I mean, a few of the guys that I already know have it are struggling either to get games or they've already played like 50, 60 games. And I'm like, oh my God. And this is with and that's in between like kind of 2-3 days.
Right.
That's unreal.
I don't know dealing with that. Do it.
It sucks they have that 99 glitch already.
I heard this as well. I heard the friendly glitch is back. I don't know how true that is. So I don't know how true that is.
That's going to hurt my feelings. That's like PTSD bringing that up.
Yeah, well, I hate to bring it to you, but
new website is coming soon. I've been on it. I've messed around with it. Let me see if I can actually log into it right now and see if there's any progress being made.
That makes me feel better because the whole coming soon crap gets old, but you saying that you're tooling around it, that makes me feel better. And then I want to know, Danny, what is like the number one most practical advantage that you see about the new site?
The back end's faster. I'd be able to do stuff quicker, which is crazy because the last website I was already do stuff faster, but now it's like I'm able to group things together really fast. So with our new scheduling coming out, it's really beneficial.
very nice.
Do what I wasn't able to do before. So scheduling is going to be awesome. So that block scheduling, I thought that was going to take up a lot of my time, but it's actually not. Really easy to do.
Did you have any say in any of it, really? Like,
yeah, I mean, right now that's what we're doing. We're testing and giving feedback. It's funny, Stevie actually uses Trello for feedback, so that's been forced down my throat no matter what. So
that's
very nice. Very nice. Looking forward to it.
So
what's the kind of ETA on it?
You know, I'd want to say October 1st, maybe, but I'm not actually sure because there's still a lot that they want to
put through, implement.
Yeah, it's like it's being rushed, but at the same time, you know, we don't really need it until like the 15th of October. You know what I mean? Like that's when leagues. You know, you give people 2 weeks to like build up their pros, but it's tough. So we'll see what happens over the next week. But I guess a lot of the bugs that we're finding are minimal and quick fixes. So we'll kind of find out what's up with that.
So just to confirm, also, obviously you spoke about the 99 glitch. That's going to be once again banned, right? Nobody can use it, kind of thing.
Yeah, we'll ban it. Annoying.
No, 100%. I just want people to kind of hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. You know, if anyone uses it, get banned.
Pretty much anything that creates an unfair advantage. I've like played with people that do that did the 99, and it does create an advantage. Those are some of the best defenders I've ever seen.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
So I would get banned for trying to sign moods by that logic thing. I just want to put that out there.
Well,
that's
unfair
funny.
Advantage.
That is funny.
We'll see. It could be god awful at this 19 game. I don't know. Someone said the defending is really good though. So
so I was playing it, and I feel like doing the tricks and stuff, they took the ball off me a lot easier than they could in previous FIFAs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think defending might be. Hopefully, it's easier.
I mean, about 6 months in, a lot of people start to find the defending on 18 a lot better. But yeah, it took a long while. It's just the lock-on system that most people complain about, including myself. Just a 5-yard pass kind of thing turns into hell because your pro just doesn't want to pass to him for some reason, or just doesn't want to lock on. So that's my biggest kind of thing. If they just sort out the lock-on system, when you're right there, kind of thing, you're reading the ball for a pass or something like that as well. Just stick your leg out. He just runs past it instead of it. It's like, come on, it's silly. But yeah, if they sort that out, I think, I would have carried on playing 18. To be honest,
I know.
I like it.
Just 18 was my worst FIFA. I think it's just coming back, but I was a lot more of a manager than a player this year. So looking to see what happens in 19. I'm excited to start fresh.
I mean, I played the demo, as most of us probably have, and the passing seems really smooth, that kind of thing.
Ding.
Yeah, for real. I don't know about this L1 triangle business, if it's any good, because I know a lot of us use it as well. Goalkeepers seem kind of OP, actually. They save a lot. So we'll see. See what clubs is like.
Claudio, what's up? Marshall, what's up? Josic making fun of me.
He's not arguing, though.
Atlantic City, where's the PK? Funny. So over on Twitch, they want to know when the app is coming. That's far off because I guess this new website took precedent over the app, but it'll work well with the app whenever it does actually come. That's all I actually know.
Yeah, the app would be really good. That's kind of a game changer a little bit, you know, if you could do your stats on there after games and stuff like that, you know. Right. Just eliminates half an hour of your time pretty much, you know, so it's good.
Yeah, you know, and I would like it so I should tell this to him actually, but for people to be responsible for their own stats, that would just be, I know it opens it up to cheating more, but
then you cheat, you get banned, you know, and
yeah, exactly.
Have the person just simply record what the stats are. You catch the person one time, and it's like,
right. So I definitely would prefer that because I don't know. I think the manager going through and doing it all kind of is old fashioned. We're all tech savvy now and phone. So
you're going to be able to upload your stats through the app on your phone?
That's the plan, I think, right? I think when I spoke to Aaron, when I spoke to Aaron, he said it's going to be something like that. So that's pretty cool.
I mean, they want to get everything kind of like off of Facebook too. I mean, they want to install like a messaging system through our website, so like we can be like independent. Right now, I mean, we're pretty relying on Facebook.
Yep, it's true. But I see it being a massive investment to have a messaging system. Doesn't suck. I mean, Sony's a pretty big corporation, and look how much the Sony Messages app sucks.
Yeah, it sucks really bad.
I mean, that's freaking Sony. Come on. You know.
Exactly. So, I mean, when we do release this stuff, keep in mind, you know, it's just 3 guys trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be like...
it's trial and error, you know? It's not going to be perfect straight away. But I think it's the way to go, to be honest, if you want to be separated from everybody else kind of thing, you know?
I think
not separated, but, you know, class apart, really. Like, you know, that's a big game changer when you have your own app.
I think the ability to schedule your own games with the ladders will be a big deal, too.
Yep.
Yeah, ladder stuff is... and it's not just going to be FIFA, right? It's going to be other games as well, right?
So I'm told. They're going to open up to multiple games, but...
with ladders and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, FIFA's my bread and butter, so that's probably only where I'll venture out to.
Of course, yeah.
But there's going to be other stuff as well, yeah.
Which would be pretty cool as well. That'll bring in a lot more users. So I don't know if you play Call of Duty, but they play something called GBs, where it's game battles.
Yeah.
And
it's not great, Braden.
And it's kind of the same thing as, you know, pro clubs in their respective. You just face other teams, kind of thing, you know. And there's 3 or 4 or 5 of you, whatever. So once that kind of lands as well, that's going to bring a lot more users and hopefully a lot more FIFA players at the same time, which should be pretty cool.
We added a 2K league, which is going to start, but I guess the 2K servers are having a problem with matchmaking. So that's been postponed a week. So just so you guys, FIFA guys know, it happens in other games.
Mm-hmm. But it doesn't
not alone.
Ultimate Team, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Ultimate Team and all that stuff. That's gonna be up and running, no problem. And if
Yeah,
there's a
that shit's
problem,
already
it'll
running.
be fixed tomorrow.
Yeah, they're already.
No, yeah.
FIFA
It'll be
execs
fixed
wake up-
before it's broken, man. Don't worry about that.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh my gosh, FIFA execs are waking up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night about but possibly breaking one day, ever. I mean, it's messed up whenever there's any problem in the app. All you got to do is go load Ultimate Team, back out, and your crap's gonna work now. It's like FIFA
It
FBI.
solves everything, right?
Yeah, I got you, bro. We got this. We're about to lose one here. 1 second he's watching YouTube videos of people open $5,000 in packs. The next second he's smashing his screen. We gotta fix this.
That's it.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about that? It's like, all right, guys, the new FIFA's out. I got $1,500 for packs. What?
Oh, I know. That.
It's
Yeah, I just saw.
crazy, isn't it?
Are you talking about what I saw, where somebody said 1,200 and somebody else was like, no, spend 1,500 and do it like this, blah 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 blah. Because I saw somebody. Yeah, dude. Is that the world that people live in?
Dude, yes.
I'm like, Arby's or McDonald's, kids. What's it gonna be?
Oh, for real, man. 1,500 straight off the bat.
And I mean, those are. I'm pretty sure those are the competitive people. Like if you want to try to, win that weekend league and make whatever tournament, like that is the kind of money you got to shell out to be competitive, which is absurd.
Absurd. I'm sure they would never share it, but I would love to see the metrics on. Here's the average amount of money that the top 300 people spend, on FIFA, and I would love to
thousands,
see
man, thousands. If people are doing that in the first day, just imagine what they'll do within 9-10 months for FIFA.
Yeah, and then I'd like to see, and what's the average amount of money that they make between positions 4 and 300, and that would be such a, because I know the top person makes out, but like person 49, they're just shelling out some dough.
Yeah, for real, man. I don't know. But imagine these little microtransactions that pro clubs would have, for example. If you had to buy hairstyles,
yeah,
it would never add up to 1,500. The whole year wouldn't add up to 1,500. Shouldn't, anyways.
No,
unless they're doing
Right.
Unless they're doing $100 haircut kind of thing,
but it should still be enough for them to make some money, because it wouldn't add up to that. But how many people play pro clubs, and how many of those people would spend at least, I would say, $15 over the course of the year on those add-ons?
100%, man. 100%. I actually believe that.
That's money.
If you had to buy accessories in the respects of the the boots, the hairstyles, the kind of stuff like that, and then if on top of that, if you wanted to get kind of your attributes, boosted kind of thing, and you ain't got the time to build your pro kind of thing, I think they could make a lot of money. Or even some, you know what I mean? They can make a lot more than what they're making now, kind of thing,
Right, because the attribute thing isn't really a separator. There's loads of 92 cams out there that absolutely suck. So, like, it doesn't really matter. It's just, have you played enough? So I'd be fine with paying to not have to play that many games to get up there, actually. You hear that, FIFA? That's money in the bank. Because it's just
I
time.
would too, man, because by the time I maxed out on FIFA 18, there's like 900 games. Yeah. That's a lot of games, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Actually,
not that
really
I care
smart
about maxing out, but I mean, it'd just be nice to be there quicker, kind of thing,
Oh,
right.
I would definitely pre-order, whatever for a maxed out pro.
Yep.
I would pay.
I'd pay $100. I'll just tell you right now.
Yeah, I'd pay a lot of money for that.
Right, because it's just freaking
time.
time.
Grind? Are you fucking kidding me? That's worth a lot. So
yeah.
much time.
And
it's
like
hours.
I said,
Hours you're sitting on your PlayStation, man.
The top competitive teams have all top people anyway.
And
it's all going to come down to skill and decision making.
And I mean, it's not like the great time. I mean, it's a grind. It's not like you're playing at the times that are most convenient for you.
It's like a second job, man. It feels like that,
Seriously.
At the start of it, I dread the start of FIFAs, man, because you know
Yeah,
you got your pro to be a decent level, like kind of now for 18, for example, and then you have to start all over again. It's like, oh.
That's the one thing I don't like about Ultimate Team, that it doesn't carry over. It's like you guys are spending all that money and it's not going to carry over.
Yeah, kind of just erases and start again, kind of thing, and here's another $1,500.
Yeah, but I mean,
or at least partially carry over. Like, you know, it's like, look, Legacy Pro Clubber, you get to come in at an 89. You know, something. So it greatly reduces the time, because it's that time from, well, I don't know, maybe coming as a 90, because I feel like from 90 to 91 is like 20 times harder than 89 to 90, maybe more.
Also, they kind of, if you guys play pro clubs, you gotta know that, like, you have to do all this grinding within the first 2-3 weeks, otherwise it takes like twice as long.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up, Danny, because I'm wondering, as we're trying to grow the pro clubs community, especially here in the US, not everybody even knows pro clubs. And with the affiliated clubs, there's a lot of new people coming. For those people, if you happen to be listening, your pro starts off sucking. So what we're talking about right now, your pro starts off like 83 or 84, and you've got to grind for like 100 games to get it up to 90 through 92, which is where everybody else is. So it's like you can't even play until you do that. And if you don't know that, you'll go out there and be like, oh, yeah, I've got some pro club game today. Haven't played in a week. You get on, your guy's looking at 85, everybody's at 90, and they're just taking the ball off you.
I mean,
or just playing lesser and they have big people.
It gets to the point. I mean, it gets to the point. I mean, if you go into a lobby 3 weeks in and you're 84, it's like, all right, well, let's just cut this guy. I mean, it doesn't even, they don't even see you play. They just,
ratings, they don't matter, but they do at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, first impressions count. Obviously, if you see an 84, you're like, God, kind of thing, you know? But I mean, no, you do naturally, you do. Everybody does it. Everyone does it. And obviously, if your the skill gap kind of counts as well at the same time. So you could be an 84 and, you know, just smash it. Except, you know, be on top of someone who's like a 92 or something. Do you know what I mean? It's just how you play as well, you know?
It is. Now, if you go out there,
obviously the attributes count as well, you know. So there's a fine balance between both. Mm-hmm. So I'm on the line for both, you know.
I think my playing style, except for in the very competitive games, is more like it's not as dependent because it's more about just passing, and you can pretty much start off and you can pass okay, you know. So, and even me, it's annoying, but I know what you're saying. You can tell a good player regardless.
Oh, 100%. As I said, the attributes help, but you know. So make sure you grind your pros because you're going to get kicked from your team or a team you're trialing for. Don't be an 84.
We got to get those. We got to get the website up and running. Those people can actually sign with teams. There's too much. You know, those contracts actually do matter now because you don't really trust someone's actually going to sign for your team until that's signed. Well, they do have value because
for real, yeah.
The community is. Someone could be somewhere one day. I mean, think if Leicester would have started 2 weeks ago, Manny Jam's probably playing there. But, you know, 3 weeks later, now Manny Jam could be anywhere.
Manny's everywhere.
Oh, yeah. 100%, man. 100%.
I'm jealous of Manny. I just want to say it. I wish I could go to an alternate universe where I didn't have, you know, my business and my family and 50 million kids, and I could just be Manny for a week. Just play in every league, like have muscle memory. Out the ass. She's like, oh, just doing everything. You know, popping in everybody's chat. They're like, hey, what's going on? Yeah. Moods could do it too. Be like, yeah, two-man deal.
For real.
Now, I want to come on this podcast when there's some hot topics like who's going to be the biggest snake this year, just stuff like that.
Well, we can talk about that now. That's no problem. I can give you like 2 or 3 names straight off the bat.
Yeah, dude, we can get into it because I mean,
we can predict, and then come back to the podcast another 10 months later, kind of thing, and be like, "Yo, this guy's had 16 teams in one season." I mean, you know. It's be good to predict.
Pro clubs is so interesting to me because there's some real, almost like irresistible drama that goes on. I mean, there's a manager who's like a 6-level skill person trying to manage a 9 or a 10 out of level skill person. That never works, ever. You know, these super skilled guys, they can only play for people or on teams that are kind of at that level. They won't be able to take it. They'll bounce so quick. So for me, if you're a manager listening to this, you got to be real. And when I say your skill, I guess I really mean the skill of your tactics. Like, what's the level that you can really bring? You know, because if you can't, they're going to bounce real quick. You know, It's happened to me. It'll happen to anybody.
It happens everywhere, man. That's just the nature of how it is, unfortunately, you know. I've seen there's a couple of sponsored teams over here that kind of, you know, they pay their players and stuff like that. It's little things like that kind of actually keep players, you know, and end up attracting the best kind of thing, you know, as well.
Yeah.
So until it becomes that kind of realistic side of things where you actually get something out of it rather than other than just the fun kind of aspect and the social aspect of it, that loyalty kind of thing is going to be kind of questionable for a lot of players, you know, until that kind of realistic side comes into it.
So what do you think to transition? Because that's obviously the hot topic these days. And I can tell you my team chemistry, I even said something in the chat today. You probably saw it. I said, guys, you know, we are a branded team. We're chemistry. We're a branded team. We're working to be affiliated, whether that's with the club or maybe with the business. We want to be a well-run organization that it can be like, look, we're not just a random group of guys. We've got a manager. We've got systems. We have infrastructure. We're dependable. We're competitive. We have our own marketing. We have Twitter. We're doing all this stuff. And we can do this for your brand. And so my question to you would be, how much money are you talking, or what do you think is really the mark that really gets a player from like normal pro clubs fickle to like, you know what, this is my team. I'm getting paid a little here. Is it a lot? Is it like $50?
Are you talking about as in like a wage kind of thing per player?
Or
is that what you're on about?
What are the perks like on these sponsored teams? What would be the typical perk on a sponsored team over there?
At the moment, there's a lot of gaming organizations and affiliated kind of clubs and stuff that don't actually do anything at the moment. If I'm honest, in the respects of, I feel like they could do a lot more to help VPG and VPGA and other leagues. Do you know what I mean? And 11v11 pro clubs, just to put the name out there. Do you know what I mean? Just little, where it needs to start for me personally is little things on social media. So in the respects of a little retweet now and again by a professional club, all that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Just to get the name out there, that kind of thing. And I've seen when I was with a team, I'm not going to name a team, but their fans end up. So what actually happened? They retweeted a tweet from our esports team, and everyone's hype about it. Everyone's really happy about it and stuff, you know, because it's kind of one of the first things that's kind of happened. And but the flip side of it is you end up getting the official fans actually like, what the hell is this? You know, and they start kind of cussing it out, and they start kind of, because they don't know about it. They're not educated about that kind of side of things, you know, and it's usually the older lot or people are just not educated about it. So that's what I want to see from these big organizations and the big clubs, just to kind of put the word out there for, you know, for pro clubs in general and the sites, not just, you know, VPG and VPJ, but just as a whole, because we're a big community, you know.
We are.
And I hate to see the divide, or if there is a divide kind of thing, we're all one, you know. So I want to see pro clubs in general out there. That's what. So that's what I want to start from the big clubs and that's affiliated and stuff, you know, and stuff like, so. For example, Danny, is it Orange County? Have I got it wrong? Is that the right one?
Yep,
yeah.
Yep.
You see how they're doing? Like, you know, they're kind of
marketing,
making the marketing side of things, man. It's just they're really on it. they're really on the esports kind of side of things. I mean, the manager actually met the kind of, the manager of Orange County Esports kind of met the owner and stuff, right? Am I wrong, or correct me if I'm wrong?
I wanted to bring Mike on to kind of talk about that because there's a picture that you guys aren't getting of that I think is really cool. So the owner of Orange County, we had been talking for like 6 months, and then he was like, "Yeah, let's sign him, let's bring him in. But if we're gonna do this, I want to do this like he's an actual player of the team, because I don't want to do this any other way." So when he did it, hey Mike, come in. The first time we meet, we're not gonna do the signing. I'm gonna give you a tour of our facilities, and then you're gonna sit by me at the game. So
classy.
He took him on a tour of the facilities. They gave him some merch. He brought his wife and daughter. Then they got to watch the game at the 50-yard line with the owner.
Very nice.
That was cool. So he was sending me pictures of that, and I'm like, "Oh, dude, this is awesome! Like, this is what I've been working for. I'm glad that people in the community finally get these experiences. I knew this is where it was kind of headed." So then that happened, and a week later, they invite him out for a photo shoot. And then he plays, some games with the owner, and then people come by the office, and they kind of stop in to see what's going on, and he gets to meet all these people.
That's really cool.
So then they did the photo shoot, and it was funny because the day after they did the photo shoot, he said he went home to his wife and was like, "Hey, there's pictures of what I've done," and she's like, "This is so crazy." Like, she was like,
over a game kind of thing. Yeah. That's what I'm saying about educating people, man. Once people know how, how real this is at the same time as it being virtual, it's
well, that's what was crazy too. So, the director of marketing for Orange County, he gives me a call, and he's like, "Danny, this is exciting, man. This reminds me of 2 years ago when we were starting our venture."
Their journey, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, it's like you guys have something a little bit more established, so it's kind of easier for you to find players. But like he understands the whole building something from scratch, and it was crazy the parallels.
Oh yeah,
dude, it's like the same thing.
Business is business, bro, especially in sports.
Dude, it's crazy. Like, we are doing the same exact thing that these professional clubs
as they are. Yeah,
like the exact same thing. We're trying to go out, get all these players, try to play on our teams, and that's exactly what they're doing. And it's a free market, so like, you either got to come with perks or you got to come with a really good team to land these players. Like, that's it.
So, I don't know if you've been told or anything, but is there any perks to this? I mean, in the respects of, I don't know, is there any kind of wage structure or anything like that, or it's kind of?
So teams have kind of come at me with how they want to do things. Now, Orange County. So I said, "Hey, the entry fee is $90." They said, "Perfect, great. Send us an invoice." So I sent them an
lovely,
invoice, and they took care of it for him. Mike, do you need a capture card or anything? Perfect. Cut him a check. Took care of it. They're willing to do that. And then we just want to see how this first season goes. If this first season goes good well, I mean, I don't think I have any problem going up to any club, be like, "Hey, cut me a check for this amount of money, and I can market your esports team." And I don't think any club has a problem with that. If this goes well, if this doesn't go well, then obviously I can't ask for much. But right now, I think I can go to any team and say, "Hey, I do this," and they can cut me a check. And
that's the start, man. That's the start.
He's worked hard to get to this point.
Oh, 100%, man, 100%.
So much groundwork behind the scenes, and I say it all the time, nobody needs and deserves compensation more than Danny. Just this is grueling hours, and grueling hours, man. And it's gonna happen, and you deserve it. You deserve it when it happens. Because to do this in America it's different than over there, and it's unique to you, Ali. And this is something in America, people were on FIFA before they even really knew about European teams, because we didn't have any of the games on the channels. So in World Cup 98, I get knocked down for N64, which maybe was before you were born. That's where I played with Bergkamp, and I found out about CVG and all this stuff. And then I went and hacked through the internet. I mean, I was downloading old clips of the real Brazilian Ronaldo from Napster. That's how I saw what he did. And so now we've come full scale where NBC, which is Sky Sports here, has $1 billion deal for Premier League, and now everybody can watch it. And so video games is attached to the growth of a sport here, which is nuts.
Yeah, people just like playing FIFA, and then that's how it wasn't oh, let me play with AC Milan because they have Kaká. It was oh, who's this 84 midfielder? He's dope.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And then you watch him in real life, you're like, I love that guy.
Exactly.
You played with him first.
Yeah, that's how it was for sure.
Which I think is, if there's funds out there, I would love to do the documentary on that. Here in Grand Rapids, we have a group of friends that would never talk if it wasn't for Champions League and FIFA. It's got Bosnians, half black, half Mexican, half black. I mean, just 6 cultures in 6 guys. But we all love each other. We've known each other forever, and it was just because of FIFA. So I think
the social side of it's amazing. I mean, in my opinion, from what I can see, I don't know much about Ultimate Team, but from what I can see, Pro Clubs brings more people together than what Ultimate Team does, kind of things. You know what I mean? Most things. So NBA, that kind of thing. I don't know about their communities, but from what I can see, Pro Clubs is kind of bringing more people together and quicker than any other kind of any other kind of community. That's the way I see it. It's just growing every year. There's thousands more people playing it. There's thousands more people playing.
I see you. Shout out, bro.
There's thousands more people playing Pro Clubs competitively.
Dude,
and then
yeah, sorry.
So it's good. No.
People need to figure out how to make money off that social thing, because it's I'm more bonded with people that I've cut, than, because how it'll happen if you do it respectfully. You'll meet somebody and it's look, it doesn't work out, but then time will go by and it's look, we're actually friends. I have so many friends like that. Either they cut me, or Matt, or I cut them. It's just
Steve.
The social aspect is freaking massive. So that social aspect is also what look at it compared to other online games like Call of Duty. There's nothing like that. You're not bonding with people, like you are in this sport. I 100% know that if my wife and I popped over to the UK to go to Anfield, you're hooking us up with hospitality and all that stuff. That's massive to know that.
Yeah, you ain't meeting that at Call of Duty, man.
You're not.
You ain't seeing that.
We met all those people at the big house. That was nuts.
Right. Yeah, that's
what I'm saying. That brought people together, It's just little things like that. Well, it's quite a big thing, actually, to be honest. Five or 6 people together.
What was pretty crazy about that was you're meeting someone for the first time, but dude, it was we'd known them for ever.
Yeah.
So
we were Pro Club's cousins.
Yeah, seriously. It was just, we hit it off just quick.
The banner's already there, that kind of thing. There's no awkwardness,
No, dude, there was none. It was hey, what's up? And then it's just all right, we're play FIFA and get drunk. Let's do this.
Moots, I met TK. TK is a pretty big personality. Everybody knows TK. TK Elbow.
Mm-hmm.
And I met that guy, and it was the first night. It's yep, we're going to the grocery store, and this guy's hooking everybody up. Just, he's just completely different side of his personality. You thought the only way he hooked people up was running the baseline and then cut it back with that pass. He can do a lot more than that, guys. You heard it right here.
Yeah, he's the definitely the best bartender in VP.
Man, it was
Yeah.
good.
Well, all right. That's good to know. I'll see you soon, TK.
Yeah.
Get the
Dude.
tequila ready.
Yeah.
But Ann Arbor was a blast.
Mhm.
That's so. I talked to another team. A lot of these teams were like, Danny, you know, this is all great. We want you to bring an event to our town. It's like, whoa, I don't do events just yet. But when I do events, you know, I'll get a hold of you. Because events, I really do want it to be like how Ann Arbor was. I want to have 4 playoffs a year, and then, you know, each playoff we go somewhere different.
Yeah.
And it just to be just like Ann Arbor, you know, where we're just all hanging out playing FIFA, and then we have our competitive games during the day, but then during the night we get to, you know, do whatever. And
You know what's going to happen that's really weird is there's a generation of people that play these games that are getting older, and that means they'll have more money. So, like,
Well, you'd like to think so.
Well, you know what I mean, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 38. There's a lot of 30-year-olds who have careers and are serious as heck about. They were willing to drop $600 to go to Ann Arbor to have the Airbnb to see the game. And so I think a lot of people playing pro clubs now will still be playing pro clubs in 5 to 10 years. The draw is too strong. The social aspect is too strong. It's not like some game you just pick up and put down because you get, I mean, it's a joke, right? When you see people retiring because you know they're probably going to be back, at least in some capacity. The draw is so strong. It's all about the people.
Welcome back, Yusuf.
Yeah. Welcome back, bro. Welcome back to the chat. You know, I mean, and so that with that draw being so strong, that means that there's, I mean, if you think of the hot 22-year-olds right now, when they're 27 to 30, they will probably have stepped away, but when they come back, they're going to be able to do these events like you're talking, Danny. If you think of, they'll have like, you know, they'll have those little rap cruises or whatever, where it's like, oh yeah, let's all pay a bunch of money, just go to a party. There could be like pro club events like that. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, so like I was talking about this with Jake last night. He's my buddy here. Like it's gonna happen. It's kind of weird to think about, but people are gonna be like, "Hey, let's go check out the Pro Clubs event down at the Van Andel tonight to watch these teams play." Like people are actually gonna be paying money to go to arenas to watch people play video games. Like it's gonna happen. It's not like it already that does happen. But I mean, it's going to become more regular.
Yeah, especially when if there's affiliated teams and they're like, oh look, there's a real team here, like kind of, you know, a real esports team kind of here. That's no disrespect to people making up, you know, for example, like chemistry or something. You know, people not going to be like, who's this kind of thing. But at least if they heard, for example, Orange County or, you know, Duluth or like, you know, whoever kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? A state or whatever, or a city kind of thing that's that you're representing. People are like, oh, all right, let's just check this out quickly, you know. Well, and then again, that social aspect again comes into it, you know. That's the biggest pro I think of pro clubs at the moment is the social side.
Piggybacking off of what you just said, that's why this season I'm having a lot of people switch their team names to just where they're from. So if you're from Toronto, you know, VPG Toronto, and that's solely because we're adding all these affiliated teams who, you know, are partnered or sponsored or what have you, and I need those fan bases to know who they're playing, so they're gonna have more value for playing VPG San Antonio rather than, you know, Spurs FC Esports.
Well, okay, so with a team like mine, when I'm talking to completely non-pro clubs people, I go, my team is so sick. I've got people in Trinidad and Tobago. I've got a guy in Toronto. I tell them I've got people from all over. Now, I know that doesn't work with what you're saying right now, but that's something I'm wondering is, will there be this day where there's like this complete reorienting of pro clubs and we try to get people geographically to play with each other, or, you know, or not? Or is that not really realistic? You know? And
it's more like a homegrown rule. It's more like maybe keep 5 from your town.
Okay.
But we aren't to the point yet where I can enforce that.
Right.
But eventually we would like to get there. And we're only doing that because it'll eventually benefit you guys in the long run. Because if 5 people from your town get signed to the club, then obviously that 5 people can get all these experiences like Culp's getting.
Yep.
So for Culp, that club actually wants him to sign more people from Orange County. So there's going to be a few more announcements coming from them, where they're like announcing signings and stuff. So
This moves me to my next question. Orange County is an example. It's an exemplar club. They're a club. They're set. They had the marketing set up. Not all the USL clubs or whatever are at their level. Are we against, or I feel like there's companies who that company's target demographic is people that play pro clubs. And let's say a company like Harry's Men's Shave Club, razors. Okay. Buy your $5 razors, whatever. Go and get Harry's. Be like, look, everybody who plays in this league buys your crap. Have an esports team. And you're a legit commercial company. So those companies would have way more money in their marketing budget to just be like, yeah, you know what? You're right. These guys, if you look at the demographics, the age of the people that are playing pro clubs, that's our primary customer. I didn't know Georgia Revolution. I didn't know about Orange County. I didn't even know Indy 11, who hasn't even signed up yet. But whatever. I'm knowing about all these people now. But what does it cause me to do? It doesn't really cause me to do anything. But if I'm finding out about some brands, some companies out there that target me, I'm like, oh crap, what's this esports team? Maybe I'll check their product out. Like I could see it legitimately leading to sales.
Yeah, that's something definitely road that we can go down.
Okay,
with that.
Sweet.
If it's Orange County versus No Shave Harry's,
that'd be hilarious.
Great, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I just want to say it with because I feel like over there, Ollie, the soccer teams themselves are huge. But QPR is freaking way bigger than Orange County, bro. There's a lot more money involved in the sport over there.
Of course. But
so we're here.
Obviously, they probably QPR have been around for 100 years or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
They've had their social side of things pop off for however long now, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? This is just a starting block for Orange County. They're going to get big in the social side of things, as probably I don't really know much about them in real life, kind of thing. What they are, how they're like in real life, but I'm sure, virtual and on real life, they can help each other. So
yeah. Well, it's already working. Like I didn't know anything about them, and now I think they're a sick club. So if you're listening,
that's it exactly. Yeah.
If you're listening, I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and everybody I know knows about Orange County now because of you guys is dipping into this. So successful experiment.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So people be looking out for them, that kind of thing. They'll then end up, if they're on TV one time, they'll check them out, that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So
what's crazy about Orange County is, like you guys are saying, like I didn't know much about them. So they're number 1 in the USL. So they just clinched it.
Oh, they're a big deal. Wow.
So,
all right.
Yeah. So I didn't know this. USL is on ESPN Plus, so they got to deal with ESPN. There's potential for a lot of growth with that, and this James guy, he doesn't seem like the type that he wants to be in the USL. It's like I'm taking.
Sorry, James is who? Is the owner, right?
Yeah, he's the owner.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because he already admits it. He knows that Orange County is not a final stopping spot for people. It's their pathway to the pros. So he wants to make that the best pathway to the pros. I think so eventually he can get them in the MLS. Because, he tried to buy the Seattle Sounders, I think 10 years ago, along with the Portland Timbers. Him and his dad put in bids, and then the owner of Microsoft came in. But you can't compete with that. But you know what I mean?
So he's got a good financial backing behind him, at least. Still, though, if he's going in for big name clubs like Seattle and Portland, they're not small teams.
I think his dad owned the Portland Trailblazers, that part of their owner group. So, I think he has eyes for the MLS eventually. And he hopes to be with that Orange County team. So we'll see, but got the financial backing to do some what he currently has, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
That's good.
Definitely someone we
That's
want to
really
be
good.
partnered with.
Is just on that kind of subject about the owner? Is he a gamer himself or anything like that?
He is, and he's actually an Xbox guy, but we converted him to PlayStation.
Wow.
That's good. That's really good. See, the reason I asked that question is because with someone with similar interests in kind of the gaming kind of world, they're going to be more prone to get involved in it. Do you know what I mean? They want to be involved in the kind of in the setup of things, and I think this could be just as fun as of an adventure as him starting his real club. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know. Yeah. So no, I just think it's good in that respect. So I think that could be a question you could put forward to the kind of marketing guys if you ask any other club. You know, are you guys gamers as well? And you know what I mean, would you like to be involved in this, and this kind of thing? Do you know what I mean? So I think that's good. I think that's a good building block. Because then, if they say yes, then you're kind of not halfway there as such, but at least you're going to capture their curiosity. You know.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a good start in that respect. Yeah.
You know, eventually, once I build out a good 20 teams, just like that we have at OCSC.
Mm-hmm.
Once I get to 20, dude, these Xbox guys, I thought Xbox was like, whatever. Like, I didn't know that many people played Xbox or whatever, but like, these Xbox guys are coming out of the woodwork and they have nowhere to play.
That's hilarious.
Which is, I thought,
it's like immigrants.
Dude, it's really crazy.
Don't build a wall. Tear down the wall.
Like, FIFA really kind of, I guess once they decide on a console, they really turn the shoulder to the other people. Like, it's pretty crazy, actually. So if you're a FIFA player, you need to get a PS4. Like,
you do. I mean, Shield was talking about the quality over there. Not speaking highly of it.
Yeah, eventually, we're going to open it up to Xbox. Like, we just have to. But I don't know when that day will come. Hopefully it comes fast. But, yeah, man, Xbox is not where it's at for pro players.
It'll come when it's like a minimal amount of money and investment to do it. Because right now, everything, relatively.
Right.
So it's like, oh, yeah, we need to spend that to make it open for Xbox. Boom, done. But right now, all the energy, you're in startup mode. You can't do stuff like that.
Right.
You know?
I feel Xbox is actually a long way behind PlayStation, to be honest. And the reason I say that, especially for the two or three leagues that I play in, which are probably the biggest ones right now.
No big deal.
I mean, yeah, they are involved in it and stuff. But I mean, the two owners, so for example, Danny and Aaron, are both PlayStation guys. You know what I mean? So they're obviously going to prioritize kind of the PlayStation side of things over the Xbox. You know what I mean? I know there's a Xbox VPG guy that kind of runs it and stuff like that. I don't know if he's an owner or anything like that, but yeah, I think with the two guys that play PlayStation and own the VPG and the VPGA kind of side of things, especially for those two websites, they're going to be propelled quicker than Xbox will be.
Aaron won't even teach you how to do a drag back if you're playing on Xbox. It's PlayStation or nothing.
That's it, exactly. Well, let's just stick a video out and start a YouTube channel. But yeah, I just think PlayStation is where it's at, definitely. I would personally not switch to Xbox.
All right, funny topic. The reality of lag in pro clubs for different countries and even for who's the number one person that that complains about lag? I got one. I'm not saying it.
That's probably me, to be honest.
No, it's not you.
Oh, really?
I guess my person though, I'm feeling a lot of lag right now. How about you guys?
That plays on your team.
He did.
You
don't guess mine.
I think
somebody not here.
I think it's me, to be honest. I complain about it a lot.
You actually do complain about it a lot, but I didn't notice it until you just said it, and then I'm thinking, oh yeah, he does complain about it.
I only seem to lag when it gets to the box, though. I don't know. Is that for everyone? When it gets to not every time, but I mean, I really lag, to be honest, when I play West Coast guys. For some reason, West Coast doesn't want to agree with my connection for some reason.
Well, they're
East
far
Coast
away, man.
guys, yeah, I suppose it's that as well, you know. But I've been
It's
playing on the East
literally-
Coast kind of connection for ages. And I mean, I have friends on the West Coast and they'll be like, oh, come join this team with me. And I'm like, I don't want to lag even on your own host kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? That's the least I want. Because it's not enjoyable, is it? That's the last thing you want is trying to run around. And
How important is the connection? I mean, I really... Yeah, go ahead.
For me, generally, I try to block it out because I just hate when that's the excuse.
Exactly.
Like, so, but then there is some times where it's like, it's so laggy where it's like, okay, I can point this out. But when it's like only a little bit, like I do really try not to even bring it up. I feel like lag becomes more of a cop out than it does actually lag.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the whole team starts to rally around it. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We can't pass at all, bro. I can't do anything. I'm telling you, it's like a cancer ward all of a sudden.
Well, there is that. But I mean, when we say lag, it's just for me personally, it's delay more than the kind of the skippy kind of you can't do anything kind of thing, you know.
Right.
So you either get that button delay, so you press an X and it just doesn't happen, or you tackle, it doesn't happen, or it does it a bit like 1 or 2 seconds late, and I'm like, oh.
That's a real thing. Or it's like you're on skates, you're turning, but it turns 2 seconds. That's horrible.
Yeah,
like,
you know, but
it really is a thing.
It honestly doesn't happen often unless I'm playing like a West Coast team, to be honest. Because when I play for Prolific and stuff, I'm usually all right actually. But sometimes I don't know. You get to the opposition box or even your own box, and it's uncontrollable. Your pro just starts running into the net or goes to the crowd, and you got nothing. You can do nothing about it, you know. And everyone's like, "Oh," just starts panicking. The goalkeeper's doing like, you know, running to the corner flag, that kind of thing. So can't be dealing with that. So they need to kind of change that. But I got told it's because people are button bashing. I don't know how true that is. I can't really tell if that's true or not.
Yeah, I think I don't suffer from a lot of lag, and I'm glad for it because the way I play, a little lag completely screws me up. So even when I play like in the English leagues, it's just I'm missing that edge, and I think it affects me psychologically. You know?
Yeah, you start thinking about it too much.
Yeah.
And that's kind of half my problem. I start thinking about it too much, and I'm like, oh, this is affecting my game here, you know?
Right. And people start moaning like, oh, and it's like, dang it. Yeah. Come over here. Play on my connection, and we'll see how it is.
Well, no. Let's really say that as such, but... yeah, you get the drift, though. I know a lot of people moan about, like... including myself, so I'm not really, you know...
I will say, like, when I play in VPG, Europeans complain about the American lag the most. But then when I play in these international tournaments, the Americans complain about lag more than the South Americans.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, I see a few of the USA teams, not including yours, Danny, that you just won the Gold Cup. Congratulations, by the way, on that. But yeah, I didn't hear anybody on the stream or anything like complaining about lag, so that was pretty cool. But I've seen in previous USA teams when they face Mexico or Salvador or Panama, anyone like that kind of thing, South American wise, that their away host for USA is always really bad, like really bad. And you just hear people complain about it, and then they end up losing because of it, or you know, I feel if they just kind of got on with it, or you know, set up their tactics a little bit better. Oh, I got an example for it. So I was playing in another league, internationally wise, just as a mess about, but we ended up getting to the final somehow. We played a Brazil team in the final, which PX General was playing, as you know him. So we're facing his team. So what they did, what I've noticed on the away host, so our host, they ended up playing so defensive just so they can get a 0-0 to bring it back to their host and smash it. So they ended up losing 1-0 on our host, or something like that, or 2-1, something like that. So when they got to their host, they ended up playing the beautiful football that Brazilians are kind of accustomed to, kind of thing, and they ended up smashing it like 8-0 or something silly like that. We were lagging a lot in that game, but tactics-wise, they got it spot on. They knew they were going to lag, so they were going to, they did everything possible in the respects of, they did 3 at the back, so they kind of played 5 at the back at the same time. And then they played like 4 in the middle, which didn't go forward, and they just played a big dude up front where they just lock it long all the time, or they just clear it all the time, So if you kind of set your tactics out like that on an away host, that's going to be really bad, I think. Mm-hmm. And then you bring it onto your own host, and then hopefully for your sake, they kind of feel the same way on the opposition lag, or delay or whatever.
Yeah, that's something I'm going to have to... So I'm going to be coaching USA again next year. That's something I'm really going to have to preach. Like, we're hosting, we got to take advantage of it, because in this international stuff, it is an advantage. I hate to say, like, lag determines games, but...
Sometimes it really does.
It makes no sense to beat a team 3-0, and then when they host, you lose 9-0. You're like, you know what I mean? Like, clearly we're not this bad, where we just... And it happened to us twice. We lost to Chile, I think 8-0 and 7-0, after beating them by, like, 2 goals. Whenever they hosted. Yeah. And, like, it was just, like, it's annoying. You don't want to use it as, like, a crutch, but you gotta know you gotta pack it in on some of those away.
That's what I'm saying. The tactic side of things. So what they did, they kept their kind of better players out till their host game. So they ended up playing a right back and a left back as a right mid and a left mid, and then had defenders all across the back 5 kind of thing. You know what I mean? And they just kept one kind of big guy up front, and they knock it long and hope for prayer for a set piece or a foul or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So there's little things like that you kind of have to consider. You might have to really play shit and ugly to get a result, and they did, And then they got to their host, and that was it. It was kind of game over, really,
I like that side of things, honestly. I mean, not so much with the lag, but just the having to do crazy tactics occasionally.
Listen, people got to do what you got to do what you got to do to win, and I truly believe that. And a lot of people are quite naive to change the way they play, just to get the win, kind of thing.
Yep, exactly.
And people need to kind of realize and wise up to that, especially internationally. I think you need to be a bit more savvy, because you're facing everyone from across the world, especially World Cups. World Cups are just, if you were, say, facing Scotland or something, I think, just be smart about it, Go really defensive or something. Just try hold out for, like, if you're going to lose, don't lose by 6 or 7. Lose by 1 or 2. Right. When you get your own host, you're going to, that's your time to shine, kind of thing, So, yeah, that's my opinion on it. On the old lag.
Sweet.
My phone's blowing up. I just got downloaded the iOS 12. Someone just told me about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been going for an hour now.
My last question about that: how fast is your connection? Like, how fast is a good connection over in England?
What do you mean?
So, like, megs per second.
You can get anything from, like, there's a lot of people that have like 800 down, 800 up, that kind of thing. It just depends where you are and stuff like that, and how much you're willing to pay, But that doesn't mean you're going to have a good connection. Not really, not necessarily, Because I played on a couple of people's connections. So I know someone who's got like a 1 terabyte connection or something, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Which is like the fastest thing. That's like government internet, pretty much.
Yeah, fiber.
And if your connection doesn't like their connection, kind of thing, then it's not going to work, kind of thing, Okay. I ended up kind of delayed on his connection, and he's meant to have the best connection in the whole bloody universe, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And
sounds like relationship advice.
Well, it's counselling right now. But so I just think it's depends where you are in the world. If your connection likes their connection, then it's going to work. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's just one of them things, you know. Because I play with even Prolific. There's certain hosts I'd rather play on than others, and they live in the kind of same area, you know. So it's weird. So it just depends, really. It just depends, you know. So having a good connection doesn't mean you're going to be a good host. That's the short story of it.
And that's so stupid.
It really is. It really is. It's like you're paying for the best, and you end up having, you know, the connection of a, you know, 7 megabyte. You know, it's horrible. But yeah, that's the short story of it. But a lot of people over here do pay a lot of money for good internet, you know.
Danny, do we keep our coins and all of our medals and stuff with the new website?
No. Clean it house. Like, I'm not even gonna call it season 3. It's just gonna be, you know, it's a new start.
Yeah,
so
it's a new
is there
beginning.
Anything I should spend my 7 million coins on? I'm just looking at I guess I'll just take a screenshot so I remember this.
Yeah, go buy some. Yeah, well, the whole algorithm for coins is being redone. They're gonna have value now. But that, I mean, I think there's gonna be like stuff in the store where you can coins to get stuff at discounted value, stuff like that. I mean, I haven't.
So you mean as in like apparel and like
yeah, I think stuff like that.
And hats and stuff like that? Like,
yeah,
do you mean
so.
stuff like that? Oh, okay.
So like maybe like if a hat's $30, you can toss however many coins and get 5, something like that.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
But they're trying to add it so where coins have value. They
yeah, because I mean, I bought Lamborghinis and mansions, and
yeah.
I thought I was living the life. Would be nice to have it in real life, but you know. I mean, I was chatting to Aaron about a year or so ago. He was saying maybe putting something in place of if you have X amount of coins, a lot of coins, for example, you can maybe trade it in for like real money or something like that, or just, you know, I doubt that'll come anytime soon, but I mean, that'll be pretty cool as well, to be honest.
Yeah,
if you got like a 100 million coins, for example, you know, you can get $100 or like, you know, stuff like that. But obviously,
yeah, it would be nice, or like a PlayStation Plus, or like get your entry.
Yeah, something like that.
League.
$20 PSN card, something like that. Do you know what I mean? You can trade it in for that kind of thing. So it makes you work a little bit harder to get there, or you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we can. We're to the point where we could ask for more than I think we've been asking for. So all that stuff's coming. I do have some giveaways next week that I'm doing.
Very good.
The
very
lady,
good.
Sent me the stuff she was supposed to send me, but she told me she would get it done. So we'll see if I have it at my office tomorrow.
Are you allowed to speak about these gifts, or are you gonna wait?
No, I'm gonna wait. I mean, they're from the MLS. I don't know what it is though. It's like a box of stuff. I guess I just gotta open.
Oh, very nice. Should be some cool stuff in there.
Yeah, sweet.
I'll be doing that in partner with, I think, VPN. From the KCC Cup that we sponsored together. So, yeah. See how that goes down. VPN had a pretty cool event in Toronto this weekend.
So I heard, yeah, I've seen a few pictures of it. It looks really cool.
Looks like they rented out some house in Toronto and had people over playing FIFA or something.
Yeah, it looked pretty snugly. That's a word. It looked kind of like in just a small kind of room where, you know, there's 4 or 5 monitors or something like that. And, yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, they had some top FIFA pros there. That was pretty cool. It was nice seeing VPN way out of South America.
Yeah.
The Great White North. That was cool. It's nice just seeing the community grow, period. And this whole VPN, I could care less about. Kind of like we're not. I mean, at the end of the day, we're not really in direct competition with each other because I think their visions of how they want to do things is different than what I want to do. So it's like comparing apples to oranges. I think they're gonna grow pro clubs in a way where I wouldn't grow. I don't think they will.
And each should work, you know.
Yeah.
Even if it does fail a little bit, it's still the exposure's there, like kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
It's gonna get the name out there, da da da. You know, it's a never-ending thing. It's gonna keep growing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If people like yourself and people like Juan, Bruno, and Henshaw and stuff like that, you know, kind of, you know, keep doing what you're kind of doing.
Just like I think VFL is like, VFL's the weekend, VPG's the weekday, and they're growing in different kind of ways. You know
100%, yeah.
Like, so it's cool that like pro clubs you have a preference. It only sucks that the community is not big enough where the preference mattered so much. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think midweek is where it's at right now. I think midweek, in my opinion, is taken over. Weekends, is obviously a lot of people. It's either family time, going out time, doing kind of their own thing, you know. Yeah. So when people come home from work, do whatever, have the dinner, and then get on for a bit, and then get off, kind of thing, you know. Go sleep, go back to work, and then do the same kind of routine, you know. So midweek is where it's at for me personally. I mean, I like my weekends. I work sometimes on a weekend, or I go out. Do you know what I mean? So it's just one of them things.
And I think that's when the ladder's going to come into play. Like, we're not even going to do like VPGA. We're not even doing weekend anymore.
Really?
Play, do ladders. Like, because it just. I mean, we got ladders now. It makes no sense. We have a main league and then ladders. I mean, it doesn't really make any sense to do it.
But so a lot of people get, for example, Steve, you know, you get your team on a Friday and Saturday night, for example, at a bit of a later time. Instead of playing a normal seasons game, which will mean kind of nothing, you could do the same thing, kind of thing, but just do it at ladders, you know? So I think that'll work. That'll work perfectly, you know? So you end up facing teams that are going to be on anyways or stuff like that, and you can organize facing them instead of getting that, like, you know, 1 in a million kind of chance of meeting them in a seasons game. And it'll mean something. You get your points, you get your stuff, you get your XP, you know? So that's what the ladders kind of mean.
Or just like, I would encourage anyone to do ladders because it's a scheduled practice pretty much.
Exactly. I mean, that's the way I was thinking of it.
Like, whenever you want to have games, instead of scheduling friendlies, you can just schedule ladder matches.
Exactly. You know,
that's a big deal.
And that means something. You'd get the XP from it. You get the coins from it if you win. You know what I mean? And it'll be documented on the website, I assume, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah. I mean, it's like a regular league game, but you could use it, you know, as scheduled practice type of thing too.
Do you have to join like the ladder league or something?
Yeah. There's going to be, I think, a US one, a UK one, and a global one.
To me, it just sounds too good to be true. Like, but I mean that in a good way. I want to make sure I don't miss like what I have to do, because I was just thinking after playing Leicester, you know, there's a gap between teams sometimes, and you can practice and you can whip up on a bunch of teams and feel good about yourself, and then you'll run right against a brick wall of one of these top 6 teams in the country, and now you got to rethink everything. Well, crap! I thought we can't finish. We got to have bigger people here. You know, everything's different, and so it's like, what? How do I prepare my team? I felt like I grew like a plant inside in a perfect environment, and then I put it outside, and the first strong wind that came blew it over. Now, it was 2-1. It wasn't like disrespectful, thankfully, because I know the team they played before us. I can't remember who it is, but I know it was 4 goals in 22 minutes, and I was like, holy shit, I'm going to die. So I was thankful for the 2-1. But I was just thinking, like, I need to be playing these top branded teams in this country regularly so that we can be making the real adjustments that we need to stand up to the competition. So, that's our ambition.
To my knowledge, I want to say the higher you're up in the ladder, the better the competition will be. Similar to how I did with the Sunday League, where if you're in the top 4, you only play teams in the top 4.
Okay.
If you're a mid-table team, you're only playing mid-table team. Obviously, if we don't have enough people sign up, you might get out of your element a couple times. But to my knowledge, I think that's how it's going to work out.
Sweet.
So, it's very appealing for like me when I'm running the USA, where it's like, man, I almost want to do ladder team for the. So I'm not sure how all that'll work. Where like maybe you can only play on one ladder team. I don't know if you can sign up for 2. I don't know how that looks, but I'm definitely interested in using ladders.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Definitely. Me too. Because these normal seasons games will mean something again. Instead of or just a normal friendly, they'll actually kind of I don't know. They'll mean a bit more. Instead of people pissing around all the time.
Yeah, I think it just appeals to everyone too. We don't care if you're from VPN. We don't care if you're from VFL. You can just use it for practice if you're in those leagues. I think ladders could be really big.
Yeah, and I don't know really any other leagues that does it. So it could be.
Yeah,
it's evolution. Let's put it that way. It's or revolution, one or the other.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's, playing pro clubs at your own schedule, that should open it up enough doors to new users that we've never had before.
Yeah, 100%. Especially for West Coast guys. I think that'll help a lot more for the West Coast. Simply because I think there's probably I don't know. Is there more East Coast players than West? I don't know, but
I think so.
But for the West Coast guys, I think it'll introduce more West Coast people to play.
Or
because you can schedule it when you want.
With VPN and ACL, you know how there's that time gap between the East and the West Coast?
So yeah,
just to stay awake, schedule games. And then, our guys will probably be scheduling for games after they play. So we're set up to where you can play as much competitive pro clubs as you've ever wanted before.
And for me, that's pretty good because I don't really like playing with 4 or 5 people. Usually, it just bores me. Like I got no interest in that. If I want to play 11v11 all the time, let's say all the time, but majority of my FIFA time, then that's where it's at for me. So it's perfect for me personally, and I think a few other people feel the same way. Well, a lot of other people feel the same way. 11v11 is where it's fun. Nobody wants to play 4 or 5, or really.
Right.
So yeah, that's it. That'll be the ladders is the way forward. I think
so.
It's gonna be fun, definitely, especially for weekend stuff when people want to schedule games and stuff. Midweek it might be a bit hard with competitive stuff going on, anyways, unless you want to play on afterwards.
For me, like personally, selfishly, I want to see some of these games, where the matchups. And then if I ever see like a Epsilon versus Fatal or a QPR versus Prolific or something like that on the weekend, or a VPGA Leicester versus Nemesis or something like that.
Yeah,
I want to watch that stuff. Those are like
they look fun, right?
High level games that we haven't got to see before.
That's right.
And now we're able
100%.
to see it, which is going to be awesome.
So they would be able to be in.
Say that again, Steve.
So like the ladder's open to any branded team anywhere, sort of thing.
Anything. Yeah.
Yeah, the global. You said about the global. Yeah. You have the US, you said, I think, right? And then you have the global. So everyone can join everyone and play against everyone.
I want to see Chemistry take on Epsilon. Like, I want to see those games. I want to see, Walt Disney taking on Chemistry.
Right.
I don't normally get to see that stuff, and haven't had the ability. But now, with these ladders, there could be some of that crossover action, which is going to be awesome.
That would be wicked, to be fair. Could you imagine on a Saturday night? I don't know. Got nothing else to do, and you got Epsilon versus, Leicester or Chemistry or something.
Yeah, that'd be
back to back.
crazy.
That'd be crazy, man. That'd be really good.
Seeing like Tiago's infamous team going against Shell's Walt Disney, like that's big. That's big news in our community.
Yeah, 2 pros going head to head. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be really cool. But that's also another thing I want to bring up. But in regards to pros, obviously they got their kind of priorities with Ultimate Team and stuff like this. But I'd like to see them kind of propel pro clubs as well, because I know they're a big part of pro clubs. Well, a lot of them are a big part of pro clubs. So the Tiagos of the world and Shells, I would like to see them kind of put pro clubs out there as well, because they got a big following and all that kind of thing, So if they did it, people would follow because obviously they got fans. So it'd be nice to see that, just the pros kind of stick pro clubs on the map.
Yep, exactly.
Insight. I don't know how much I can share. Well, I'll just be vague about it.
Careful what you say. Yeah,
but there is a pretty big YouTuber who is bringing. I mean, when I say pretty big, I mean.
Yeah, I know who you're on.
They're really big.
Yeah. Just for VPG, right? If you're on about the VPG.
Think of like
KSI.
Think of like Sideman. Think of Castro. Think of #United. Think like on this level of big.
Yeah.
One of the clubs that we'll be getting next year is on this level.
So that'll propel everything, man. Once they see one big guy is just
once this
team, it's a domino effect.
Once this team announces like people are gonna take notice. Let's just say that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, most definitely, man. I agree.
What did you think of that Chemistry Leicester game, Danny? I know you're watching it. Was it a good game?
For me, pride-wise, it was like I was glad to watch you guys lose.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for being honest, like that.
It was nice seeing Trav disappear. But
he really did.
At the same time, if I was in that game, I can see how I would have disappeared too.
Yep, CM's. Our midfield got overran, so he wasn't getting a lot of supply. Too. So just to be honest.
But yeah, it was. You guys could have done better. I don't think that was indicative of how you guys play. But props to Leicester. I mean, they're just good. Like Matt in those fucking black gloves, he's an assassin. You have to always know where he's at on the field, because the one time you don't is the one time he's gonna score.
Yeah, it's clinical.
It's so annoying, but that's what makes him good. So, I think you guys could have done better. But hats off to Leicester because.
Sorry to interrupt.
Want to be better.
In my opinion, watching the games, I think which game did I? I think I watched game 1. I think straight away you ended up for the first maybe 10 minutes you started playing around nicely and stuff like that, but then you kind of got sucked into how they wanted you to play. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you sit back, that kind of thing, and you ended up focusing on how to stop them rather than how for your team to play. Do you know what I mean? You started, do you know what I mean? You kind of got sucked into their kind of thing, which is where obviously you kind of went a little bit downhill in the midfield, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's interesting because internally, and I didn't agree with it, but having, and I know we need to wrap this up, but having a possession style team is a constant fight. It's a constant fight. It's a fight because most people, 100%. Period, don't do it. That's strike 1. Strike 2, Americans, I'm sorry, their IQ about soccer or football is not the same as over there. So stuff that's with over there in Europe is like, all right, well, there's a thing called build up, and if you slow it down, it allows your people to get in better positions so that your striker isn't getting it against 7 people. Like, and it's almost condescending. So you've got to find like the best of the best, or people who are somehow kind of switched on. You got to do all this crap, and then you play against the top team, and it's just, honestly, it's kind of working, but it's not working as well as it does against most teams. And I think that there's a thing that can happen if a team doesn't have experience, if they don't have identity, where they'll lose their identity. And I felt that happened a little to us, where it was like the second it wasn't as easy to pass around as we're used to, we were kind of like, well, we're just passing it around, you know, and then you start trying to force it a little. And so I felt some of that happen where it's just like, well, fine, just get it to, you know, Doc's feet as soon as possible. Even though there's situations I like, for me, a big part of what a midfield playmaker does is they're directing the tempo of the game with their decision making. They're purposely choosing not to pass forward because they know that this little pass sideways or back is actually going to invite more people in. And let's just say it wasn't a good environment for me to do that game. So we just need more experience playing top teams so that we get used to playing our way at that level. You know, because that was like strike one.
I don't think the problem in the respects of, from an outsider looking in, I don't think the problem was how you guys played. It was, well, actually, tell a lie. Sorry. It wasn't. Because, as I said, you got sucked into the game that they were playing, you know? And that made you end up knocking it long or knocking it sideways too much, or, like, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And they were just crowded in the middle. Credit to the way they played, you know? They pressed the ball well. And they pressed one side of the pitch well, you know? So if you have to kind of, instead of, it's nice playing the 5-yard passes and, like, you know, the triangles and stuff like this, but you got to notice the other side of the pitch, the right back or the left back might be open or something, switch it, and then you got all that space that side, that kind of thing, you know what I mean? So it's all right having one style of play, but you got to notice, you got to adapt, if that's the right word, to the game, you know? And if you're kind of savvy enough to know the other team is better than your team at the moment, then you kind of have to figure out kind of different weaknesses of theirs, you know? So if that means knocking a long, big diagonal now and again, or big L1 triangle over the top kind of thing, you know? You got to do these things sometimes instead of, it's nice to stick to principles, but you can't be that naive to keep those principles and lose the game, you know? You have to adapt. That's the way I saw it. I'm not saying you were naive, I'm saying in general. Like a lot of teams are like that.
Another thing in general is watching film actually does help. So if you can't put in the hours that all these other teams do, you can actually watch film and kind of get an idea of how a team plays after watching 3 or 4 of their games.
100%. You can notice
we kind of see like what you gotta work on, or what you can take away from them that will cause trouble for them. That is the biggest 100%. Thing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
and if you don't have time to watch games, look at stats. Stats can kind of help you out with that too. Where you can look and say, oh, Manny Jam, obviously, when he had like 60 damn goals in 40 games. You're looking at these stats, you know, like, all right, you know, got to mark this guy. That's how I have to do at international tournaments when I don't have enough time. I got to look at the stats and know, like, hey, this is the guy we got to watch. If we take away this, you know, we can win this team, or this team only crosses it in, so our outside backs, you know, we got to cover those.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, if you just watch a couple of clips, you kind of know if they're, you know, how they play. If they go to the wing, cross it in, or if they go to the wing, pass it back in. You kind of, the pattern of play is always kind of similar, you know, with most teams. And I've only played on a couple of teams where it's always mixed, so you don't know what's happening next. I don't play on them anymore, but I kind of like, you know. So it's always unpredictable, which is why we ended up scoring a lot of goals, because people didn't know what we were doing, that kind of thing, you know. Unpredictability is probably up there with decision-making and timing on pro clubs, in my opinion, you know. The first two, timing and decision-making, are the most important, in my opinion. Then everything else kind of follows in that respect.
And who do you think was the top club in FIFA 18?
In 18?
Yep.
If you
played, like UK, US, who was the top team?
It's hard to say, man, because there's been a few, if I'm honest. But the one that kind of stands out is any team with shells on it. Because there's 3 guys. There's 2 pros on it, and there's 3 guys up front that kind of do unreal stuff. Like, I can show you clips of them just killing a whole 11 by themselves, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So Shells, Young Keeper, and Reezy, those 3 just unbelievable. If you think some of the guys that are good in the US, just think a million times better. It's just unbelievable, kind of thing.
No,
you know
like,
what I mean?
I've heard
but
Epsilon. I've heard stories about Epsilon.
Listen, Epsilon are awesome. They're an awesome team, but different kind of team. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of it. They're all different teams. You know, they're all different play styles. They're all different in their aspects. You know, so in my opinion, the best team that I've seen on 18 was probably Epsilon. If I'm honest, the best all-round team. So they're strong in every single department. You know.
And Steve, they run that formation you run.
Yeah, holding.
There's some good passing. Well, it's just like these little passes that I wouldn't think to make. They make them, and I don't know how the other guy gets it. And it's, I don't know, but it works, and it works.
It's not just that either. I mean, the mechanics of the game as well. So even if, for example, you just lock a long, big triangle from the midfield randomly, like sometimes it'll get through, but the mechanics of the game, it's because of the mechanics of the game, not because of the person's not in the way, or do you know what I mean? So some of these things kind of fall to, I'm not saying just for Epsilon, but just in general for the game. Like, you know, they just fall to people. So people kind of play on the kind of mechanics of the game, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
You know, they kind of know the things that work and don't work. So, for example, L1 Triangle this year was just OP. So, depending on what kind of angle you're at and stuff like that. So you'll see an L1 Triangle in the box, and the goalkeeper will randomly jump for it, like, and miss it completely. You know, I don't know if you guys have seen that, but I've seen that quite a bit, where the goalkeeper just randomly dives for it and just an open goal. So it's either between the defender winning the header, attacker, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes you can't get there. It's just if you play on the mechanics of the game, you're gonna win more often than not. You know what I mean? Because this isn't real life. It's still kind of scripted in the way that FIFA wants you to play, or how, you know what I mean. I can't explain it, but I know what I mean. You know, so. But yeah, I think overall, from the whole 10 months, I think Epsilon's probably been the standout that I've seen. But there's been other good teams. So if there's, I don't know if you've heard of Season, that's the one with Shells on it, stuff like that. They're an awesome team as well. But obviously they've been together for a while, but they've only been in the Premiership kind of this season. But they've been kind of scattered about before. Shells at Walt Disney before, You know, they've all been playing, but all together, they're a really, really good team. I think they went unbeaten in the VPG Prem this season, and they won it. Yeah, they're an awesome team together as well. Yeah, that's a very good achievement. I think that's all like 40 games or something, you know. So that says something about their team.
Right.
So yeah, for me, them two are the standouts. But then, what you guys don't see is the Italian teams, is the German teams, even the Polish teams, the kind of Eastern European teams, the Hungarian team. Seriously, the pro clubs are so big, and unfortunately, you guys don't get to see it like how I do, because I get a lot of the streams here, that kind of thing. That I could probably hand over to you, and you guys can watch. More than welcome to, and that kind of thing, you know. But there's so many good 11-man teams, like, you know, that could dominate. You know, I see them. I sent a stream to Steve the other day of one of the teams I play in, and like they say to us, kind of thing, you can't get in the team if you don't play out the back. If you're not good, like comfortable on the ball at the back, kind of thing, and playing it out, you don't clear the ball. You pass it out, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So there's philosophies for every team. The tactics of every team, do you know what I mean? It's all different, but they all gel really well. They're all kind of really, really good battles, you know? So I'm saying all the Eastern European teams, all that kind of thing. I mean, even a Russian team came over to VPG this season. They didn't do great, but they're a really good team. They're a really good team, you know? So Pro Clubs is proper worldwide, and the 11-man teams kind of thing are just unbelievably strong, you know?
I want to see how that Turkish team they signed. I think because their Twitter views are like in the 50,000 range. So, like,
Wow. All right.
I want to.
Yeah, I heard about this. I don't know who's managing. I think it's part of the other VPG kind of Turkish league. Someone from there's kind of taking it on.
Yeah, I want to see how big that team can get though, because I mean, 50,000 views
Yeah,
on
it's
Twitter.
good.
You know, you should be getting into talent.
No doubt, no doubt. I mean, that's what. If also you guys don't get to see kind of, well, not even me as much, but I mean, as the Middle Eastern kind of leagues. So if you play Saudi Arabians, I mean, stuff like that, people from Dubai and stuff like that, they're unreal at pro clubs, like unbelievable. So I don't know if you got to see like IFVPA USA against Saudi Arabia in the last kind of competitive kind of game. They smashed it like 8-0 or something. Yeah. Yes, it was to do with lag. And yes, they had a couple of people missing. But even on the USA host, it was like 5-5. So they must have been feeling the kind of same way. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But they were playing unbelievable, like unreal. You know, so these guys, they know how to play. There's a lot of good teams about, you know, and all different styles. But yeah, going back to this question you asked me, I think Epsilon and Season are the two that really, really stand out for me. And yeah, and if they stick together,
respect.
It's gonna be GGs for everybody, kind of thing, because they're just another level apart, you know.
Right.
But yeah.
All right. Well.
All right. Good stuff.
Yeah. Wrap it up.
It's a pleasure, Danny. Thanks for having me on the chat.
Yeah, me likewise. It's been fun.
I mean, we'll be doing this every Sunday. I mean, it won't go this long. Maybe like for an hour. And then we'll just recap the stuff. I mean, next week we'll probably be talking about our first week of the grind.
FIFA 19. Yep.
Yeah. And we might even be playing while we're doing it. But
yeah, no doubt, probably.
Well, I mean,
playing together, hopefully, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah,
playing while talking.
Yeah, next week, we'll try to get some 11v11 on the pod, and then.
So you can't even buy the game until Friday?
Yeah, you can. Oh, no, on the disc. On the disc, yeah, you can. I'm getting it at 7 your time.
Yeah, I'll have it tomorrow night. I'll be on.
What does it work like buying the disc, Danny? Like, do you have to pay $20 extra to buy the disc on Tuesday?
I don't know how that works.
I don't think you can unless
Your
you have
best
like
bet for getting it tomorrow is to call PlayStation.
Yeah. Oh no! Game share with somebody. Somebody in the chat will, or in the chemistry chat will. If you give them like $10, be like, look, can I just game share with you for 3 days? You're not, you know, $10 is what? Nothing really, is it?
Danny, why can't I do that with you?
Because I'll be actually playing it.
Right. So I couldn't do that with anybody. Anybody who cares enough to get it early is going to be playing it all the time.
No, because you can already have. I already have mine downloaded.
Danny, I could play it during the day when you couldn't. I could play it when you're at your day job.
No, and then I won't play it. You both can have it because I'm game sharing with somebody right now.
Yeah,
and we can both play.
I couldn't do it for some reason where, like, I have to make his PlayStation my primary and he has to make his primary. And then
your primary in that.
I couldn't do it because it's something to do with streaming.
Right. Exactly. I knew it was cut and dry. It's something with the primary crap. And it's like, once you get to that, it's like, just pay $20. I messed up, guys. I messed up. All right. I bought the regular edition of FIFA. It was an impulsive decision done out of anger. It wasn't my first. It won't be my last.
Can you just call PlayStation? Just do it. Okay.
All right, I'll do it.
Actually,
I'm headed to Mount Pleasant tomorrow. I'll just do it in the car on the way up.
Yeah, I'll send you a $20 PSN gift card.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh!
Since Aaron took fucking forever giving
you.
Let's go. There you go, Steve.
Sweet. I'm so glad. Thank you so much. All right.
Get that for you right now, actually, before.
I can't believe this is happening. I just called in and I won something.
Fancy sending me something, Danny?
You know what? I tried sending Teo a gift card, but apparently they're geography locked, so he couldn't even use it in Canada.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll forward that 20 right to you. We'll just do this right now. That'll be a fatal transaction.
Nah, I mean,
right here.
I mean, PSN.
Wow. Fatal attraction.
Please, let's not go there. PSN cards, they're kind of regional, so they don't. I got sent one the other day from someone who lives in New York, and I can't use the code unless I'm using an account, a PSN account that's in America, kind of thing, or is an American region.
Right. So, speaking of bribes, what's it gonna take, Ali?
For what? For what?
For
join
for the services in 19. I think I just got put on a team, so I got to do a little recruiting.
Well, we'll see. I have to have a think. I have to have a think what bills I have to pay, and then we'll go. We'll see what you can offer me from that. A new car, new house. I don't know. We'll see. And not a VPG one either. But yeah, we'll see. We'll talk. All
right, guys. Thanks for tuning into the pod.
Good stuff.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Danny.
Thanks for listening, peeps.
Talk to you later.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, good evening all. Bye-bye.